from the conference, one of the resolutions you came to?
Yes. Good morning, Nana, and good morning to Hamza, an engineer. I think that we were all witnesses to the conference, and there were specific decisions that were taken at the conference. So there were some amendments to the Constitution, and the implementation for each of the amendments, or the timelines for implementation of each of the amendments were also determined. So there are some that are going to be activated at certain periods, and then others are also being implemented now. And so what you saw yesterday from the General Secretary was one of the amendments that are supposed to be implemented now, ahead of January 31st. So that's basically what has kicked off. And by tomorrow, close of day also, we should have all the aspirants who actually want to contest, who have filed their nomination.
Oh, the deadline is tomorrow?
Yes. So Dr. Bawumia will be filing tomorrow at 8 a.m. At the party headquarters.
Right.
And after the filing, he would then make an official declaration, and then we'll take off from there. So yeah, I think we're on track. Of course, the only thing I would say is an admonition to all our party people across the country. It's a worry. It's been of great concern to some of us, the manner in which some are actually conducting themselves in this elections. I mean, one can understand that it's a competition, but I believe that there are more decent ways to compete and make your case than to sort to bring down your opponents in the eyes of your competitors. I think that is where the biggest challenge is. And so I would continue to urge all of us to be a bit more measured with some of the things that we do. The objective may be to malign someone in order to get an advantage, but it would have caused a lot of harm to the party than what you think. Because once you malign, there will be counter reaction. And once that counter reaction comes in, it may be equal measure or even more. I always tell people that if you come attacking me, don't try to determine how I respond. You understand? You may push me with one finger, but if I decide to retaliate, I'll come with all five. And then you say, oh, but I pushed you with one finger. I mean, I was minding my business. Yeah. I didn't ask you to push me with one finger. So I really, really plead with all our people to be measured. You know, our opponents, they never mean well for us. They never wish any good for us. None, zero. Zero. Don't let any NDC person deceive you. They don't mean well for NPP at all. They wish we are no longer existing. They wish we are no longer part of the national discourse. And so they're always excited when they see us. So they always have a certain way of fueling. They will say, they will drop in keys to fuel whatever it is that will be. But I think that yes, democracy is good. Speak your mind, forcefully push the interest of your candidate, but let it be decent, especially when you cite, you know, these guys. They pick on these things, and then you hear the things you will say. You will hear.
Are you preempting or?
Oh, I know them. You hear the way.
Or maybe we should send you to Elvis. You have a prophecy.
You hear. You hear. Where is here? You hear the things you say because they are excited. One of the things they enjoy is to wake up in the morning and see an NPP person throw, you know, some missile at it, they will be excited. You see them sharing, they're excited.
Well, if you play to their turf, why not?
Yes, I do know what they will do. They'll come and say they should stop these things. It's not good for us. It is even worse than if they are coming at us. You know, so I beg my NPP people, please again. The conversation should be about why Dr. Bawumia. Like I have always said, I don't even engage and even mention the name of our opponent. I don't think it's needed. If I'm asked about my opponent, I'll throw it somewhere. I believe that Dr. Bawumia is the best candidate to lead the NPP into the elections because we have barely 1,207 days into an election. And so we need a candidate that has been well marketed, that is very prepared, that has traveled the journey before, that understands the pitfalls, the potholes, where to run, where to jog, where to walk, that has a better appreciation of the situation now than to try and hazard a new candidate who is now coming to learn the ropes of the job. That is my view. And I think that of all the people who are running these elections, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is best prepared, is the most formidable, and is the winnable of all the candidates. That means that we could hazard any other person, but the one that gives us the greatest chance and minimizes the risk is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And this is founded on electoral history, electoral trend, electoral records. That if I have gone into an election and I have close to 42% of the voters voting for me, I can confidently say without debate that I have some 42% of the country who believe in me. What it means is that I have some 9%, that could be engineer, Nana, our friends here, that I have to convince to come and join me. So this 9%, how do I get it going? Another person can also debate and say that, well, I think I can do it. I can make it. I can get there. Maybe true, but that risk is higher because you haven't gone to the people before. You could get 80%, you could get 70%, but you could also get 20, you could get 30, you could get 40. So between you and the one that has done it before and we can actually measure, I think that it is easier to pick on that person and say, okay, let's hold on to your 41.7% and let's go after the 9% that is left. And that's the sort of conversation that we're having. And this is also not just something that we are assuming, it is something that is backed by data, that in this country, except for President Mahama, that actually ran 2012 elections as a certain president and won, we've never had a candidate go for the first time to win an election. It's just history, it's just precedent, it's just an electoral trend. Politics is science, and politics is also sociology. So if the society and the sociology of the country is telling you that, well, we would want to hear this person multiple times before we give him a test, and they've done it with several candidates, then we need to give them that hearing and told that way. And that is why we feel that, okay, all of you are good, you could do it, but the one that gives us the biggest chance and opportunity is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
But this same person has been heard from since when? Is it 2008? And he had finally had the opportunity to contest in 2024, and yet suffered one of the biggest defeats in our history.
I have been heard, Hamza has been heard, all the people who are running, we've all been heard. So long as you're in politics, you are heard. That is why we can pick each of the candidates and give a profile of what their philosophies are, what their principles are. That is what it is. But I have never run for president. You understand? He has never run for president until 2024. Now, you see, the point is not about winning or losing by the biggest margin. In 2016, as of 2016, President Mohammed's loss was the biggest loss this country has ever seen. And you recollect that in 2017, the whole year, the mantra was MDC Egu. In fact, some prophets started giving prophecy about how Mahama is finished. And that God has decided that there is no way Mahama can ever lead this country. There's blood on his hands. Who would have imagined? Even as of 2020, who would have imagined that President Mahama, that lost an election by close to 1 million votes, never seen before in this country, would come back to become president? Nobody. And you see, again, Mohammed's comeback is a confirmation or a validation of the electoral trend that in this country, if you go and you speak to the people and you don't give up and you are consistent and you stick true to yourself, they are likely to listen. They are likely to listen to you than a first timer. That is why when President Kufuor went for the first time against former President Rawlings, he lost. When Professor Mills came against President Kufuor in 2004 for the first time, Professor Mills also lost for his first contest. Then Professor Mills came in 2008 as his second term. Then another was coming for his first time, another lost. Then another came for his second time, he lost against President Mahama, who was an acting president. Then another one on his third term as a flag bearer in 2016. Then John Mahama, His Excellency, came back again in 2020, lost before he won again in 2024. So unless you want to ignore the data, unless you want to ignore the facts, unless you want to take a big risk guess game amongst all the candidates, it is clear that all of you could do what it is that you say you want to do, But if we are going to run by the numbers, run by the data, then the one that gives us the best chance, you could all give us a chance, but the one that gives us the best chance and gives us our fastest path to winning 2028 is Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, because he went into 2024 elections, lost, but he's holding a certain percentage of votes, 41.7% of votes, which that we can attest to and validate that he has it. What we know he doesn't have is 8%. You have 0 because you haven't gone to be tested before. You are saying you can do it, but you could also go and also do less than that. How do we throw away a 41.7% vote and go hazard a 0% vote? It's a difficult, logic to live by.